reporter's gotta be nearby. Ain't keen to jump to conclusions, but I think I got a notion of what we're doing here.
I'm Orland Crawford, the outsourced but never outmatched wartime correspondent for the ACS Undisputed Claim. You must be the grafted soldier, here to show us all what you can do.
The name's Inez, and yes, Willard Conan sent me to help you with some sort of... I don't know what, exactly.
Now, let's not skip on introductions. Who is this you have with you? Oh, I see.
Ah, I appreciate the commander for saying so. I've been traveling with them for some time, following my dismissal from the forces.
Never seen a grafted trooper in action before, but I'm looking forward to watching you work. Your mission, trooper, is to capture the Protectorate blockade to the north. Their defenses are too great to face head-on, so you'll want to sneak in through the back entrance. We've obtained the entry codes through great effort.
My camera drones will be filming the action from above, so do put on a good show. Blow up a few things, and use Inez's abilities to demonstrate the might of Auntie's choice. Yes?
They've detained several of our scouts. I'd like to see them returned. If you deliver this weapons cache to them and free them, they might offer some aid in the fight.
This is quite the opportunity. Normally, a POW might be written off as shrinkage, an unfortunate, unavoidable loss. But their rescue will be worth far more in publicity.
So what? If I hadn't come along, you all would have left those troopers to rot.
Our motto is to leave no man behind, unless it breaches our contract and promises financial penalties, which this does. Now, take these codes for the back door and go.
Once you infiltrate the blockade, neutralize our foes, and open the gates, our remaining troops will move in to secure the blockade for ourselves. Any questions? That's the spirit. Oh, I look forward to seeing you take the fight to those fiends. It's about time Auntie gave them a good walloping. Ooh, and spare some time for me after you emerge victorious, won't you? What am I saying? Of course you will. Who wouldn't want to be interviewed for the wireless? Go on now.
Seems the little rapt has imprinted on you, Commander. Don't worry. I'll be a good stepmother if you forget to feed him. here we are, about to kick the proverbial mantisaur nest. Hope you're ready for your close-up. Of course they got a bunker mech. We need to take it by surprise, without alerting the other troopers, mind.
They never questioned it, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged.
Prudence dictates it is the duty of every protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times.
Over here! Let us out!
Ain't no way they'll leave us here. We still got 43 months of boot camp loans to pay off. Fake law. I thought we'd be trapped in here forever.
Hey,
On your feet, soldiers. You're free.
Hot damn! You're a real grafted trooper! Our crew at the border ain't gonna believe this. Sure wish I were authorized to hand out 3.7% discounts, because you just earned one, friend. Our hosts are still walking about, and it seems we're without our weapons. You ain't happen to bring any, did you? Oh, wonderful! Auntie always provides. Now, let's get out there and give those bastards the what for.
Resolute, courageous, steadfast, fervent, tenacious.
Today's battle cry brought to you by the nutritious punch of Purpleberry Crunch. Taking cover.
Yeah.
As soon as my robustness is restored.
Let's get you healed. Someone go for it.
Still recharging.
Taking cover!
For the history books. Let's open the gate for that reporter and the
that what
troops
I think it
before
is?
these bodies get cold.
Supposedly need time for some action.
Yeah.
Over here! Let's have a word with the hero of the... Well, the blockade is ours now, but the way in which you captured it lacked a certain... finesse, shall we say. Not sure my drone's footage will show what we were looking for.
That hasn't stopped you lot from spinning a story before. You said something about an interview earlier. Well, I'll answer your questions. You'll make me look good in return?
It's audio only, Trooper. And you're working with a true professional now. Let me work, huh? Relax. Be authentically you, though you'd be wise to throw in a tagline or two. Ready?
Well,
Great! Recording's already begun. I'm here, live at the scene with the fearsome crafted soldier Inez. It's a shame you cannot see this, dear listener, for it is impressive indeed. Inez, your destruction of those dastardly protectorate troops was awe-inspiring. You must feel like the employee of the month, having brought such a decisive victory to Auntie's choice.
I'm just, doing my part. I joined up because I believed in our mission, to liberate Arcadia. Reckon my actions illustrate that more than anything I could ever say. I ain't sure what else to say. What does the audience want to hear exactly?
They want to hear sordid details, but not so sordid that it'll staunch their worst buying habits. Now focus and don't fret. We'll clean this up in post. Dear audience, the voice you just heard is that of the soldier's close associate, an eyewitness to the battle and the marvelous carnage littering the land. You also freed some of our troopers from the Protectorate's fiendish grasp. One can only imagine the torture they suffered. Tell us about it. The rescue, in detail if you would.
Look, I did what anyone with an ounce of sense would do. Ain't gonna leave one of my own in such a state. And if I had it my way, I would have acted sooner. Yeah, that's exactly right. I plan on doing everything in my power to bring a swift end to this war, and keep as many civvies out of harm's way as possible.
A heartwarming sentiment, but not too swift an end to the war, I hope. It's good for business, as we all know. In any case, those soldiers can finally return to their postings again. Now, I have a question about your abilities, Inez. What sets a trooper like you apart from the rest?
These graphs make me stronger. Good in a bind. I know I'm a bit of a curiosity. Ain't too many of us left. But there is so much good we can do with grafting, if we try. What? When in the void have you ever seen me kick anything?
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but unfortunately the proof of such a feat, or lack thereof, is in the grainy drone footage. Before we wrap, have you anything else of note to tell our undoubtedly enraptured audience?
I don't know about dominate, but we'll sure liberate it, just like we did Tau Ceti. Then on to the next system, I imagine.
Very good. Love the patriotism. This may be the morale boost folks need. And that's a wrap. You can go back to slouching or sneering or whatever else it is you do. You were somewhat passable. The answers were more disjointed than I would have liked. Might be a tough sell for the broadcast.
Damn. I knew we didn't exactly nail it, but I was hoping some editing might help. We ought to head back to Willard, try to butter him up some.
You do that, and I will remain here burdened by the drudgery of war. Farewell.
course they got a bunker mech. We need to take them by surprise, without alerting the other troopers, mind.
Reserve set progress. Sustain. Serve the sun.
Never to be outshone.
Back in business. To the rescue! Sight unseen! To the help! History! Perhaps still a bit sleepy.
Status. Susceptible status. Currently prostrate.
We shall stay.
Looking a little woozy there, Commander.
It is a privilege. Helplessly, without complaint or groan.
Charging as fast as it can, Commander. Taking cover.
I have some extra surprise.
Finishing contentment.
Out of sight and on the way. Let's get you healed. Southern Copper, medic. Speaking for the history books. Let's open the gate for that reporter and the troops before these bodies get cold.
Over here! Let us out! Many thanks for liberation never tasted so sweet.
Over here! let's have a word with the hero of the moment. What a show. And
All in a day's work.
it's audio only, Trooper. And you're working with...
Well,
Great! Recording's already begun. I'm Inez.
I'm just, doing my part. I joined up because I believed in our mission, to liberate Arcadia. Reckon my actions illustrate that more than anything I could ever say. Suppose I do know a thing or two about a pep talk. Given many in my time to troopers suffering injury or boredom.
How wonderful! I hadn't realized Inez here had initiated a recruitment campaign. Truly a lesson to us all. Dear audience, the voice you just heard is that of the soldier's close associate. You also freed some of our troopers from the...
Look, I did what anyone with an ounce of sense would do. Ain't gonna leave one of my own in such a state. And if I had it my way, I would have acted sooner.
Hold a moment. You can't go saying things like that. Our platoons have a reputation to maintain. Try again, or I will strike this from the record.
Why? It's the truth. You heard your own commander say he was in no rush to help them. All due to some red tape? It's foul, and folk deserve to know about it.
In any case, those soldiers can finally return to their postings again. Now, I have a question about your abilities, Inez. What?
These graphs make me stronger. Good in a bind. I know I'm a bit of a curiosity. Ain't too many of us left. But there is so much good we can do with grafting, if we try. I got a plan, see? To start the grafting program up again. The research is promising, and with the right backing, it could be a product that can better the lives of everyone.
A fascinating idea. I think we'd all sleep soundly if we knew more of you were running amok on our behalf. Before we wrap, have you anything else of note to tell our undoubtedly enraptured audience?
Oh, I got one. Ain't just a tested and true product that'll put you over the top. A graft like mine might also get you into orbit.
Ah, I see. A bit of cheeky product placement for zero-G whiskey. Very well done, you. And that's a wrap. You can go back to slouching or sneering or whatever else it is you do. Astonishingly well. Rest assured, our listeners will be glued to their radios for all the lurid details and to hear more of my award-deserving reporting, naturally.
Well, that's a damn sight better than I was anticipating. Willard will have to make good on our deal now. Let's head back and speak with him.
You do that, and I will remain here burdened by the drudgery of war. Farewell.
I believe what we need is on that terminal. I'll see if I can find my way in. The terminal's locked, which is no surprise. See if you can find some method to bypass its passcode. Did you hear that? I think something may have unlocked. You must finish reading through that terminal. The elevator's been summoned from below.
Consul Thoreau, I'm sure you're surprised to be receiving this message, and thus I can assume you already know my intent. Even considering aligning myself against the Sovereign is like sticking my hand in boiling oil. Yet my dead charges spur me forward. 10 scores of Arcadia's finest, at least 10 scores, died in defense of Golden Ridge. And does the region lie in our control? No. We fled like sprats, all at Varric's behest. I shall lower myself to work with you, Consul. I will help you uphold your plan to... Hold... What in blazes? How long have you been standing there? What did you hear?
I cannot believe what I heard. I cannot. My mentor isn't a turncoat. She must have intended something else. My mentor hated the Consul and was deeply devoted to the Sovereign. She'd never speak thus, unless she was trying to lure the Consul into a trap.
Rao, you really ought to have a sit-down. Were this anyone except your mentor, you'd see this for what it is.
What I'm proposing is eminently plausible. It may be beyond you to see her machinations, but it's obvious to me that this was merely an intricate play. It's all that makes sense. It's not obvious to me. You didn't know her. Wait. Do you hear that?
Arbiter Rao, I finally got you. Submit quietly to the Protectorate's justice for your manifold transgressions.
Are you insane? Who are you? And on whose authority do you claim to judge me?
My name is Junior Arbiter Mayhall, and I operate on Arbiter Mandate, as you did once. Now, no questions. This is already going to be difficult enough.
This is not the time for your deranged jests.
Well, that's ridiculous. My interest in Arbiter Rao is purely professional.
Enough. This has been an unpleasant day, and my patience is gone. Your accusations are baseless, and accosting a higher-ranked arbiter is grounds for arbitration.
They're far from baseless. You stand accused of abandoning your post, of infiltrating Protectorate facilities with opaque aims, and of hampering the Protectorate war effort. There's no discussion to be had with criminals. I needed to see firsthand that Arbiter Rao had abandoned his station. He has, and must meet my judgment.
These accusations of yours are slander. If you believe false bravado shall save you from my wrath, you're sorely mistaken. question would have been easier prior to our traveling together. I've spared others at your behest, after all. I shall speak plainly. I would rather spare her, as her devotion to justice seems to match my own. But duty dictates I answer her accusations earnestly. As I have not done wrong, her accusations are slander, and therefore must be punished. Hardly. She could not remind me of myself, for were I in her place, I would know better than to accost my superiors. I have been taught to uphold justice by any means necessary. The junior arbiter is wrongfully accusing me, which stands in the way of my upholding justice. Her accusations are grave enough to be answered with violence. But I understand why she is making them. And her perspective, though skewed, should not merit death. I don't like thinking thus. It toes the line of traitorism. But the alternative is the judgment of one I believe to be innocent. Such an action cannot transpire.
What is this insanity? I would never imagine an Arbiter balking from their chosen course. I had hoped Arbiter Rao would come to his senses, but obviously to no avail. I may not wish to judge him. I may not understand what has come over him. It is of no consequence. His crimes against the Protectorate are all that matters.
The ex-Protectorate subject there had been mentally refreshed. Killing him would have accomplished nothing, despite his crimes, as he was merely a pawn to someone else.
That's even worse than I thought. You chose not to do your duty, and expect telling me so would soften my decision to judge you?
The Supreme Arbiter taught me to follow my own sense of justice. And I have. Use your mind. Think about what I did. What you intend to do. Is this moral? Is this right?
What of it? Someone has to stop him.
Ironic. You came here to judge me for much the same reason I have, as you so claim, deserted. I chose to investigate the Supreme Arbiter's death on my own. You chose to investigate my departure on your own. You seek to judge me for the very crime you are guilty of.
That's impossible. I refuse to believe we both could be guilty if we were simply following what we were taught.
We don't know that for certain, but to an onlooker without our knowledge, it could seem that way. And such presumed traitorousness would be very confusing.
Even the Supreme Arbiter has struggled with this? That doesn't seem possible. But I suppose there's no way to ask her now. I shall trust your words. Consider my hand stayed. I can see that judging Tristan would only rob the Protectorate of another of its servants. It seems I must reflect on this matter.
It would appear we're in agreement. Neither of us shall raise a hand against the other. I'm pleased.
Yeah, I bet he is. Just remind him that abstaining from violence ain't the same as chocolates and flowers.
So, what course of action do we take now?
I shall have a better idea of wisdom to impart once I've gotten to the bottom of everything. I fear you're not the only one reeling, Junior Arbiter.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're still confused once everything calms, perhaps you might seek me out. Together, I wonder if things might not seem so strange.
The dilemmas facing us are likely far more than two arbiters can decipher alone, unfortunately. But I suppose I'll keep that in mind. Glory to the Protectorate, Junior Arbiter.
Right. Glory to the Protectorate.
I'm pleased we were able to resolve that altercation peaceably. Robbing Arcadia of an enthusiastic recruit would have given me little joy.
Huh. You beginning to wean yourself off of eating the shoe polish? This is a good turn, Rao.
You know, I'd even venture to say she reminded me just a little of myself as a lad. All this excitement did not make me forget the confession on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I have to bring it to Virgil. Together, we can discover exactly what transpired. Have you lived all your life within the Protectorate? No. What do you know about what makes an Arbiter? I refuse to question the Supreme Arbiter, just as I refuse to cast every belief I hold dear into the mud. Push me no more. Virgil will know what to make of this. Together we'll figure out what to do. I'll message him when we return to the ship. Hopefully he shall respond. Quickly. If that blockade had been staffed by staunch Protectorate defenders, we never would have been able to overcome it. Truly a sorry defense.
Anti-Fizzo's citrus-related beverage. Try to taste the lemon. Anti-Cleo and Pal's Bubblegum Slims. Now with chewable filter tip. Anti-Cleo and Pal's...
Tramicular. Arriving any moment now.
The story of Anti-Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's choice swollen-headed mascot represents the worst impulses of all corporations. Who unfairly stands a deck against the little person as they fly.
So the conquering heroes have returned from the blockade. And by the law, what footage! I have never been so thrilled and appalled by sheer brutality in all my days. You certainly know your way around a soon-to-be dead body, huh? Oh, where are my manners? Commander, Inez, meet our new benefactor. This is the business partner I spoke to you about, and she has graciously agreed to fund our new venture.
Yes, we've met. Now, let's not get overly ahead of ourselves. Excitement and carnage is one thing. Well, that is, there are two things, but taken as a whole. Proving to be an advertising darling is quite another matter entirely.
Well, I'd say these two certainly made our correspondence job easier. Only Auntie herself could have done a finer job at providing sound bites.
Let's try not to exaggerate. It was a fine showing. Now, with her as the face of the brand, we might really have something.
Look, I know I ain't exactly the profile of a business partner, but I know medicine, and I know the potential of grafts more than anyone. You'll not find my experience anywhere.
Perhaps so, but unfortunately I can't be expected to simply take your word for it. You know how it is. Low-level workers have a certain flair for lying and grifting, whilst concurrently exaggerating all accomplishments and ills.
But we can trust your word as her current supervisor. What sort of performance review might you give this associate?
Well, it's easy to go on soldiering when you trust the one giving the orders.
That's a reasonable endorsement. Wouldn't fit in the one-line write-in space for her quarterly appraisal, but I suppose you couldn't know.
Enough of the details. I say we have ourselves a deal. Why wait when your investment is ready to be rewarded?
Indeed. I'll send over the funds immediately so we can get started. Well done. I so look forward to doing business together.
So that's it. We're clear to restart the grafting program. And you'll abide by my demands. No more senseless killing. No more hurting folk.
Of course not. Unless said folk agree to it. Yes, we are at an agreement. Consider this a bonus for your efforts. When the time is right, I will reach out to you for further planning. You have been instrumental, soldier. Inez, well done indeed. Afraid not. Farewell.
I assume you're not here to admire the blood spatter.
Listen, I got great news. This program you're part of, it'll look mighty different from now on. I secured a deal with your boss, see? To make sure it serves all folk, for the better. I'm also the new assistant vice president. That might make me your boss on paper, but I ain't that keen on hierarchy. So long as you have what you need.
That's something, I suppose. So long as I can still dissect things and experiment with organic matter?
Right. Of course, job security would be at the top of your concerns. Yes, you'll still be able to do all of that, but ethically.
I don't know what that means. But if I'm not out of a job, that is a relief. It's more than work, you know. It's a passion. Will I be getting a raise? Is altruism some inner currency? If it's not, then no. I've no thoughts. Please lock the door behind you when you leave.
For weeks that your comment might get back to me.
I see you're back from the Protectorate's little mind manipulation spa. All their secrets in hand, yes?
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been salivating over the potential commercial applications of that process. Really? Thought you had more drive, but suppose that's fine.
I, for one, care little for the completion of stretch goals. You managed to avoid being mentally refreshed. That demonstrates considerable pluck and fortitude.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology, and that will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results. Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They could barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable? Oh, good to know, good to know. That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else? But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete. Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? It's true, the old corporations cared little for the individual, whereas I'd like to see each and every one of our employees rise from the refuse heap, like I did. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. Certain communications have even been exchanged between our ship and the Order's headquarters. You've spoken to the delegates, yes? A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Oh, My security team would never allow it, but a call like this over a secure line should be an acceptable alternative. Of course, Ruth would also need to agree. Perhaps if you were to perform a few useful errands for the Order, you might earn a meeting with her to propose the same. Have Ruth reach out when she's ready to talk, and I'll set up a call on a secure line next door.